Hello chess fans. In this video I'm going to show you two training methods that are little known that will turn you into a chess machine. Now I'm not going to lie, the second method in particular, well, if you don't like to lose, turn off this video now because this is brutal work, but you will get results. It's like going to the gym and lifting the heavy weights, or training in the hyperbolic time chamber against a very difficult opponent. So in this video I'm going to show you how the two methods are used, and both of these methods involve engines, although only one of them involves playing an engine. So let's get started. So method number one I call exploratory chess, and you have to use the Nibbler GUI. I don't know of any other GUI or chess software that can do as good a job at this as Nibbler. So basically imagine you had God in a room, but the only way you could communicate with him was through chess moves. Now he'll give you the perfect answer, but he can't say anything. So you have to ask questions. So how do you ask questions? You play moves. Pawn to f6. What if pawn to f6? Well, here's the answer. If I were to play pawn to f6, sack the knight. So now you're thinking, okay, but I don't understand. What if I just take the knight? Well, you keep playing the moves. Queen h5. And you keep playing the moves. Well, why can't I just move my king out of the way? Okay, queen takes c5. Okay, but I'm still playing. And it's just going to play it out, and you just go through the variations, and you try to defend for the opposite side, and you'll notice that you might want to play king g6 here. And notice these little arrow things here. It says 100. What that means is there's a 100% chance white's going to win this game with best play. So queen f5, king h6. Now you may notice that this bishop on c1 is eyeing the black king. So if I play d4 check, black's just about mated. He can try g5. And white plays h4. And it's showing black's only move here is bishop b4 check because it's the only move that's going to delay the mate. So one thing you really have to do is learn how to interpret the engine's moves, and you do that by playing out variations. So if we go back and we saw that d5 was a move here, okay, so let's play d5. Now we take it, and king g6. Well, queen g3 is the only move, 91%. The next move is 77%. So it's not going to show us that move. So queen g3. But what if white played bishop takes b7? What happens then? Well, I thought, before this, and I was probably wrong, that if black takes here, I have queen f5. And then I can check with the bishop and play h4. And it turns out that, I was somewhat right. This is better for white. But it turns out that if we go back, queen g3 is much stronger, apparently. But why can't he just block with the queen? Okay. So I can play at least bishop f7. And you can see that we get the perfect answers every time. Okay, not 100% perfect, but perfect for engines is a lot different than perfect for humans. If you were to ask a chess coach, he wouldn't be able to give you these answers. So basically what you can do is, if you don't know where to start, you can just take a chess opening. Let's say you play the Italian game. So you don't understand some of the stuff about the two knights defense. So we can just start playing theory. get to a position where we're not really sure. Okay, knight g4, I don't know that move so well. And my book is 94. f5, bishop e2. Okay, so I knew that. But look what it shows me. It shows me that knight h3 is a move. Well, I never thought of that before. Knight h3 is a move, so what's wrong with that? And then maybe I'll think, what if he just drops his knight back? Is he going to capture my knight? And it turns out I can just castle. He'll take my knight. I'll take back. Now, shouldn't this be worse for white because my king side is exposed? Well, now I can take the side of black, and I can attempt to crush white. So maybe I'll play queen d7 to attack white, attack his h3 pawn, and then the engine will defend with queen f3. So what would I play next? I guess bishop c5, and the engine will defend with knight c3. And at some point I'm going to realize that yes, black is much worse here. So I can go back and maybe I won't take the knight. You know, maybe I'll try bishop c5. And I'm going to be worse. I can see that I'm worse, but I can explore the variations and get a feel for the position. And this is kind of like being a kid and being able to ask, you know, as many questions as you want and getting immediate answers. So you can train openings with this. You can just look over your games that you've played and see what the alternative moves were. But really it's about exploring. It's not about, you know, just finding one engine line. It's about looking at all these potential moves and saying, well, h6 is a move here, you know, why? And then just playing over some of these variations and getting a feel for how the engine is playing. Okay, so that is training method number 1, which training method number 2, you can feed back into this, and I'll show you that shortly. So on to method number 2, and this one I call infinite take-back chess. What you're going to do is play against the strongest engine you can. Right now that would be Stockfish. And, you know, imagine you could train against the most powerful being in the universe, but anytime you make a mistake, you can go back and change your move. You might make a mistake and you realize you're losing, so you go back a few moves, and then you play something different and you lose again, so you try something different, you lose again, you try something different, you lose again. So then you go back a little bit further because you realize you were lost the whole time, and you start from that earlier position and you just start the whole process over again. Now theoretically, if you play this long enough and you're strong enough, you could get a draw against the engine. You're probably never going to win, although, I mean, I guess if you did it for a month or something, maybe you would get a win. So you can imagine this of like being in the hyperbolic time chamber, or like that movie with Tom Cruise where he was replaying the same day over and over again. But I'm going to show you, this is Arena Chess GUI. You can use Fritz to do this, or probably some other software. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's done. So I'm going to play black. The engine is thinking. Okay, so we have the first move. I'm going to play my repertoire. And in addition to getting, you know, top quality opponent to play against and learning a lot about the threats the engine can generate against you, you'll also learn a lot about the opening variations you play. Very often the engine will play into a line that almost nobody else plays into. But you know, if you play enough times against strong players, they will probably play into the same line that the engine played. So I'm playing the semi-Tarrasch here. And it looks like it may just go into the main line of the semi-Tarrasch with e4, but yeah. So I've studied this opening in Surya Ganguly's Chessable course. So we check here. Bishop d2. We take. And I've played this position many, many times. But let's see what the engine does against it. Okay, bishop c4, that's one of the main lines. Now, to be honest, I don't actually remember the the theory 100%. I've watched the video so many times, but I'm just going to play knight d7, and this may turn out to be correct, but I don't really remember. b6, I think. If they play d5, I'm going to play knight c5. Okay, rook e1. So I'm going to fink out my bishop. And so far, I feel like this is a balanced position. I don't feel like I'm worse. Of course, I can look at the evaluation where it says white's 0.61. But honestly, if you can figure out a way to turn off that evaluation, it's probably better for the training. Okay, bishop b3. Now, I don't know what the best move here is. Maybe queen e7, maybe rook c8. I'm just going to play rook c8. Okay, and I'm going to play queen e7. Now, keep in mind that you should not have a variation display on. That would completely defeat the purpose of this. You have to actually be playing, not looking at an engine line and just playing the top line or the second line or whatever. So he pushed d5, I think I'm supposed to take. And if he takes back with the pawn, I'm going to play queen d6 and blockade the pawn. Now, if you think about the quality of this training, I'm basically playing against a grandmaster right now, a very, very strong grandmaster. And, I could play thousands of games on the Internet Chess Club and never get into this critical variation. But by training against an engine, I'm playing against the best. I'm training against the best. He played knight d4, and now I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe he's going to jump into f5. I don't know if I've made a mistake already. Maybe I have. Actually, looking at this evaluation, I'm lost. So let's go back. What did I do wrong? Well, I'm not going to look at what I did wrong. That's the key to this training. I'm just going to try something different. So he took. I played queen d6. So let's try not taking on d5. Let's try playing knight c5. And then if he plays d6, I'll play queen d8, I guess. So I'll play queen d8. Okay, queen d4. And I'll just take his bishop. And I'll play f6. I'll say I don't feel like I'm losing yet, but part of this is when you finally realize what's happening, when you realize you've misevaluated the position and that you have to try something different. So I'm going to blockade the pawn. I don't understand knight h4. I guess he's going to play f4 or something. Yeah, I really don't understand why the engine's making these moves, but I'll play so I want to play e5, but he'll go on knight f5, so I'll play rook d8. Okay, e5, I'll play f5. And he sacrificed the knight. Now, that screams to me that I'm crushed. If I take the knight, I guess he's going to play e6, and these pawns are going to roll down the board. So I can play it out just to see, just to make sure that I am crushed. And it definitely looks like I'm crushed. Although, if this were a human, I'd still be playing. I'd still go for the chance. And in any case, this is the method. You just keep taking back moves. You make a mistake, you take back moves. If you realize that you're lost after you've taken back some moves, take back more moves. And just keep playing until you get a draw or you quit. And like I said, this is brutal training. You're going to lose probably every time. But when you do this for a long period of time, let's say you did this for 2 hours, and then you started playing Blitz on chess.com or something, it's going to feel like you just took off 100-pound weight off your back, because your opponents on chess.com are not going to punish your moves like the engine will. So this has worked for me. I've never seen anyone recommend it. And you can, if you're running out of ideas for the positions you have, you can feed it back into Nibbler and see, to explore the positions a little bit, get some engine recommendations, and try playing it out in Arena or whatever interface you use. So anyways, those are my 2 unknown chess training tips, and if you think this might have helped you, leave a like and subscribe for more chess.